that there's nothing like repentant Boko Haram. There's nothing like repentant bandits. It's just a deceit, or perhaps the government do not know what is happening. Someone like Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, made it very clear that the only Boko Haram that have repented is one that have died. That in his own ideology, the best treatment for the bandits is to send them to their creator, who have the ultimate power to judge them. But in my own understanding, I understand that there's nothing like repentant Boko Haram. There's nothing like repentant bandits. Of course, that best explains the reason we are seeing resurgence of insurgency in almost anywhere, everywhere in the northeast. We saw what happened in Mate base in Borno State, where Boko Haram was reported to have burned down some operational vehicles of the military. Even if the military is saying that they are serviceable vehicles, we saw what is happening in some parts of Zamfara, where Toji Bello have been wreaking havoc. And for me, talking about the remembrance of the fallen heroes of Biafra, I think it has to do with what the people have decided to do. Because they are talking about civil disobedience. If the people have decided that we are going to stay back in our homes to honor the fallen heroes, I don't think the government or the army have what it takes to force them to come out. Don't forget that the Senate president at the time made it very clear that even the governors in the southeast now obey Samarepa. Because Samarepa will issue an order, stay at home. You find out that the whole street in all the southeastern part of the country and in some part in some south part of the country will be deserted. And the government or the governors will have no option than to stay out of work, because nobody, no civil servant will be available to attend to the business of the day. So my own understanding is that, one, the government should realize that you are dealing with a formidable force, talking about insurgents, that it is not a bread and butter thing, that you must be decisive in dealing with them. Talking about the essence of Fulani herdsmen, I understand that anywhere you see them operate the same thing, whether in Mali, whether in Burkina Faso, whether in Niger. Of course, we understand that these are people who came from Senegambia, talking about Senegal and Gambia in sometime 14th and 15th century. And in 19th century, they successfully established a caliphate in Nigeria. Talking about the Sokoto Caliphate, which is equally seen as the Fulani Empire. And as we speak, the Fulani have taken over every governance space in the northern part of the country. So they have succeeded in conquering, subduing, and subjugating the average Hausa man. It is not reason we are seeing Hausa people speaking up, talking about that it is. I even saw a trending video where an Hausa man is saying that it is high time they start coming out to start renouncing the Fulani publicly. According to him, they are even more closer and have better identity with Igbos than they have with the Fulani. But unfortunately, the Fulani now control their political class, they control their traditional institutions, and I don't think there's anything they can do about it for now. So the only people that can even be thinking of how to liberate themselves in the southern part of the country. That is when the president shows willpower and courage to lead the way.
Pastor Matthew, let me ask you this question. Former President Buhari said that it's not the Nigerian Fulani that have been killing all over the country. Even the governor of Benue, Reverend Alai, something like that, came on national television and also said that the people who are coming to kill in Benue are Fulani from Mali. How do we now differentiate between Mali Fulanis, Fulani coming from different countries, than the Nigerian Fulani?
I don't think it's the responsibility of ordinary Nigerians to start differentiating who is the real Fulani and who is the killer herdsman. I think it behoves of the government to do that. I understand that in Taraba, a monarch made it very clear that the Fulani should vacate their communities. I will say recently in Benue, where the youth will rise and say we want to fumigate our forests, our bushes, that the Fulani should leave. And the reason is not far-fetched. It's because of the excesses and hard-handedness on the part of the Fulanis that we are seeing all this. So when it comes to who to identify the Fulani, or rather the foreign Fulani, I think it behoves of the government. I understand what I have put up borders and excuse the government always gives, but that excuse is not justified to allow the Fulani infiltrate into Nigeria and wreak all this manner of havoc. The government should think out of the box, perhaps use technology to know who and who is entering into Nigerian territory at any point as a way of identifying and dealing with this threat. So pushing it to the citizens, or rather how to identify the bandits or foreign Fulanis, I think that should be purely rest with the government.
Okay, this week we heard that out of the 36 governors in Nigeria, 35 of them have anonymously agreed that state policing is the way forward in Nigeria. Do you think that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will succumb and allow state policing to take place in his time?
I will encourage the Tinubu to give it a thought, because for me, there's need to regime the security architecture. And in regiming the security architecture, state police is one of the best ways to address it. Because a governor cannot just be going by the name of the governor and chief security officer of their respective states. They should be allowed to parade some level of security powers. They should be some level of security responsibility, because all crime is local. And if all crime is local, you don't expect somebody from Kaduna to come to Lagos as a security personnel and measure well. So you needed somebody in that vicinity who knows the terrain, who knows how to navigate the area to address it. So to that extent, if you come about state police and you arm them, I think it will address it to a reasonable extent. That's why we are saying that a security outfit like Amateku should be empowered to bear arm to the level of having capacity to confront this issue of banditry we are seeing wreaking havoc in every part of the world, in every part of the country. I saw a video of a community in Delta State where the community have to contribute 10 million naira to go and pay ransom to secure the release of their loved ones who were kidnapped by bandits or rather Fulani militias. And it's worrisome, and it's because in most cases where such money is not contributed, the bandits end up killing the victims. So it is a way to go if you are talking about state police. If you are talking about state security arrangement like Amateku, is the way to go. But the only difference is that they should be armed to confront this monster. Don't forget that the current Director General of VSS, Mr. Ajayi, I salute his courage. He made it very clear recently that communities should be the first line of defense when it comes to invasion. He gave instances in the past where the communities did not successfully repel invaders. So I think it's the way to go. I understand that under Muhammadu Buhari, it was difficult for the state security arrangement to be armed. And the reason is not far-fetched, because the Office of National Security Advisor have the power, or rather is empowered to give an extra certificate to security agencies or even individuals to be armed at that level. But now that a Tinubu is there, a Southwesterner, a Southerner, I think it behoves on him to do things differently as a way of synergizing with the state governors, state governments, to empower Amateku and any other security arrangement at that level to be armed, to be able to confront this monster.
Before I will let you go, on a final note, we are hearing this morning that even the Fulanis have said they want to declare that they want to go on their own. Does Fulani have a land in Nigeria? What is your take about them? Of saying them too, they are not happy to belong to this country. They want to go on their own.
I think that is true. We should encourage them to go. I understand that they came from Senegambia. They came from Senegal and Gambia in Nigeria in sometime 14th, 15th century. And it's surprising that even in Senegal, where they come from, their population there is just 5.something million. In Gambia, there are just about 420,000 people. But in Nigeria, there are already 15.something million. So if they say they want to go, I think we should clap for them, we should encourage them to do so that we can have peace. But I don't think they will want to go, because the way it is, the whole Fulani globally seems to be converging in Nigeria. As we speak, they have completely subjugated the Hausa man in the north. In the north, all the valuable stew, when it comes to traditional institution, they are the one occupying it. The political class, they are already occupying it. In North Africa Republic, yes, in Central African Republic, in sometime 2016, the people rose and told them that they have overstayed their welcome. And the reason is not far-fetched, because in spite of using their pastoralist activities to take over spaces in the region, they already started taking over the political space. So people rose and said, no, you have overstayed your welcome, you should leave. So the same is applicable to this part of the world, but if they are the ones saying they want to leave, I think we should encourage them to leave.